Hello, Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and am I forgetting one? Discord and whatever social media stream you're joining us on today. Happy New Year. We're live from FMA headquarters in Elgin at the Chuckle Hut. You'll know what I'm talking about in a few minutes. I'm joined by Kate Bachman, editor of Stamping Journal, and we're here to preview the January-February issue of Stamping Journal. But before we get there, we have an item to discuss. Kate wanted to apologize for dressing a little informally. Is that phrasing it wrong? Probably not. She wore a special shirt today that she got from a reader. And do you want to tell us the story behind that shirt, Kate?
Sure. Well, readers may recall a few years ago I wrote an editorial called Stamping Industry Bumper Stickers, 10 expressions only a stamper could say with a straight face. Well, recently I received a request from Kent and Woody. Hi, Kent, if you're on, from Auto Metal Craft, requesting that the company could be able to use some of those expressions on some of their T-shirts and caps, which of course I was delighted to agree to. So Kent had a couple of those expressions printed on a T-shirt and then later a cap, and he sent me the T-shirt. And so I'm very proud to wear this one today. It says, "Stampers perform best under pressure."
With an attribution from Stamping Journal, which is very nice of them to include.
Journal. So it is my new favorite shirt. So I had to wear it today, Dan.
There you go. And if you have any stampers out there that want to include some other sayings,
Yes.
What else do you have from that editorial?
That editorial, which was my one and only attempt at humor, condensed into one editorial over 20 years. Some of the other ones were, stampers don't forget, they just draw a blank.
Womp, womp.
Let the groans begin. Stamping manufacturers know how to make a great impression.
All right.
Feed a coil, starve a jam. Stampers know how to bolster an effort. When stampers encounter a challenge, they just press on.
Oh, look at you.
And last but not least, forming follows function.
There you go.
Stole that.
So, this is very famous. We actually have had requests for this editorial, and so this person that contacted you was not the first, because I've actually had to look this up previously as well. You do try, as you describe it, as an attempt at humor. Would you share that one? You call it a riddle.
So there's a riddle. What does a stamping operator say about a defective part?
What is that, Kate?
Oh, scrap.
Woo!
So,
man, I think I read that in Family Circus.
So look for my next humorous editorial in about 10 years.
So if you have anything to add to that, like stampers do it better in the bed of the press.
Oh,
see, that's pretty good.
There, you're starting the next column.
Let us know. We're live now. Shoot us an email, either now or maybe if you're watching this when it's archived. Maybe we'll get it in print and see if we get in trouble. So anyway, January, February issue of Stamping Journal. What do you have coming up in terms of, I understand you have a feature involving a medical manufacturer, which sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, this one of the more interesting articles in this issue is a case study about a company called Facet Medical. Facet is a very large medical component device manufacturer, contract manufacturer, the largest manufacturer of lances and lancing devices. So a medical customer asked Facet if they would stamp needles for diabetic care. This involves stamping the needles, overmolding them, sterile cleansing, and 100% inspection.
And overmolding, you told me earlier.
So overmolding, I think a lot of stampers are encountering this where their customers are looking for more complicated products. Mm-hmm. They're looking for them to do more assembly and more combination materials. So this is a combination of a stamped product with basically a plastic molded over it. Okay. There are a lot of different reasons for this. In this case, it's basically so that the handling of the needles remains sterile and it's more
Gotcha.
comfortable holding.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's all right. So, so the process involves stamping, overmolding, sterile cleansing, and 100% inspection. And obviously, the 100% inspection is really critical because, rarely, even though precision is always important in stamping, but you can imagine that precision is extremely critical when you manufacture something that's going to actually go under the skin in a human being. So ouch. So all of these things need to be done. So Facet Medical had been outsourcing some stamping, but in this case, they wanted to investigate the possibility of actually doing the stamping in-house. They had never done stamping themselves before. So they looked around for a capable stamping manufacturer, press manufacturer, that could also kind of usher them through the whole process and make the whole process integrated in their shop. And they did a little investigation and finalized on Bruder presses. Bruder outfitted them with a full integrated line that allowed them to do the stamping, some pre-washing of the lubricant off, then the overmolding, sterile cleansing, and then the 100% inspection.
Wow. So the whole thing's automated.
The whole thing is automated, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that medical space is pretty hot right now. So I imagine that thing must be running 24/7 or close to it.
The volumes are enormous. They said that they are stamping on the hundreds of millions of needles.
Okay. Wow.
And this is they're a global company. And that altogether, all of their products, they're stamping in the they're producing in the billions of all the medical products that they produce.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds like an exciting story.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Have you done stories in the medical space before?
I have. I wouldn't say very often. So, but it's always an interesting area to do.
Right. And let's thank the company for sharing their story, because I think a lot of times companies want to sit on that type of investment as they view it as some type of competitive advantage. But in a way, those stories being kept from public consumption kind of hinders the whole idea of, positioning manufacturing as a modern day career that people might want to consider. And it does sound like a great story.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So you also have a feature coming up on quality control.
Yes. So this one, so again, stampers are being called to do more, and the expectations are very high, particularly for quality, and of price, quality, and on-time delivery. Quality is probably the most difficult and most challenging, and one way that companies are looking to deliver, sometimes they're required to deliver, zero defects parts. And of course, if you've been following the automotive industry, you probably have seen that, the recalls of, I could say it out loud, the Takata airbags, for example, can absolutely ruin a company. So having zero defects is very, very important. So one way that the companies are, 4 of the factors hindering successful achievement of quality goals are manual documentation, outdated documents, post-production inspections, and no traceability. Traceability, of course, is a very key also in quality, in that if there is any kind of problem, companies want to be able to find out exactly where that problem occurred.
Right.
So they really need that good traceability. So a robust quality module in ERP software can remove those obstacles by just really integrating all of those traceability and documentation and all of those things that are so important within the software itself.
Right.
And it really helps stampers to accomplish that.
Yeah. Those type of tools. I just finished a story involving automotive supplier as well, so they're dealing with huge volumes. This is more on the tube fabricating side, but they were reliant on manual counting of parts during shifts, and you can imagine the headaches that would come if there was a mistake, or some of these jobs were extended over a shift and a new guy came in and they're having to pick up where the other person left. And sometimes these people would go and grab labels that didn't belong to them just so they can get the job on and pushed on. It was just mayhem, it sounded like. But they were relying on a software module of an ERP system they had implemented. It really worked out well for them. So, getting people to commit to using that is probably one of the bigger hurdles, but nonetheless, those tools are available. So, yeah.
And I think it's one of those efforts that can be a bit of an undertaking, especially if you've never had a software ERP system before. But other companies that I've interviewed that have implemented that have been absolutely thrilled and astounded with the results that they've achieved in just being able to accomplish a lot of things that are so difficult to do on a manual basis.
Right, yeah, and those are the good stories. There's also people who've gone through 3 or 4 ERP systems over a decade's time. So sometimes the ones that get it right, that's good for them, but other people sometimes struggle with that. So one of the other features, press feeds. Doesn't sound sexy, but these devices are needed to kind of make the stamping process run smoothly. What you got in that area?
Well, Starva feed, whatever.
What did the bumper sticker say?
I think it was Starva jam feed coil. I don't know. I'll have to work on that one again.
Yeah.
So this one is called Approaches for Improving Press Feed Operations. Just really looking for ways to improve that don't cost an arm and a leg, as long as we're talking about things, body parts. So some of the most common complaints heard in the press room are lack of trained workers, of course. That's a resounding theme. Supply chain holdups and a struggle to just gain efficiencies. Co-Press has authored this article, and it just kind of relays 3 approaches that you can take to gain efficiencies and to kind of alleviate the skilled worker shortage. Those were related to things that you can do yourself. A second recommendation is to really hire an expert out in the field who can come in with a fresh perspective and alert you to some inefficiencies and ways that you can improve them. And a third is automation. So Co recommends that, of course, in all cases, you kind of take an audit, first of all, and just kind of take a fresh look at you were talking about different shifts just recently. Right. If one shift is more successful or more productive than the other, take a really close look at what the more successful shift is doing, how they're doing it differently, and then how they're relaying and documenting what's going on in their operation to the next shift so that there isn't a lot lost in translation, so to speak.
Cool. Anything else you want to plug for the issue?
Just Happy New Year, and this is the first issue of the year. We're excited to do it, and hope everybody had good holidays, and that's about it.
Yeah, so we'll be previewing the January 2022, I'm saying it slow because I'm trying to figure out what year it is, 2022 Fabricator tomorrow, noon, so join us for that. And also keep in mind, if you're in a cold weather area, or even if you're in a warm weather area, and you're looking to maybe get away, or you want to kind of sharpen the stone, if you will, in terms of fabricating knowledge and learning about new technology, consider the FMA annual meeting. It'll be held in Miami, March 1st through the 3rd. I think that's correct. No one's correcting me, so it must be correct. And join us down there for that. You can find more information at the FMA website, www.fmamfg.org. Once again, fmamfg.org. Do we have any questions from our robust social media audience?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
A shout out once again to Kent Woody and all the good folks at Auto Metalcraft. Thank you for asking me. I'm honored to wear your shirt.
Yeah, hey, and if you want to send in shirts, we'll wear them on the air. I like shirts. So large for me. I'm on my way to an extra large, but I'm not there yet. Keep your fingers crossed. New Year's resolutions. I can't cross my fingers. Thank you, and y'all have a great day. See ya.